boys and girls, friends and neighbors. Big Rig Johnny here with you, another Big Rig rant. Tuesday morning here as I drive the highways and byways and country roads of our great country. Just cruising down the highway as I always do. And, because of my job, I'm on the road for, 13, 14 hours a day. And, a good 10 or 11 of that is I'm behind the wheel. And, there's not much to do. I mean, it's beautiful out here. Lots of beautiful country, and I take pictures and I look around. But, for the most part, it's kind of boring. So you've got to keep yourself busy. And the radio stations are far and few between out here. So what do? I listen to a lot of, podcasts, streaming podcasts on the, alternate media, because the MSM, the mainstream media, like ABC, NBC, even Fox now, and CNN, MSNBC, all that. It's all bullshit, and I think even the least tuned in person knows that. So anyway, but there's just so many, there's so many personalities out there, in the alternative media landscape to listen to, and so I listen to all this stuff. So I consider myself someone that is a lot more tuned in than the average person. Just through the fact that I need tons and tons of content to keep me busy 10 plus, 11 plus hours a day while I'm on the road. And so I understand that I'm a lot more politically aware of what's going on, because I kind of engulf myself in it. But what makes me crazy, and I don't understand, is how the average, normie, okay, and I know normie sounds sort of like a pejorative, but I don't really mean it in a bad way. Just the normal person, the person that gets up and goes to their job, and on the way to work gets coffee, and maybe is listening to the radio, or I don't know, just kind of doing their thing, and then they go to work for 8 hours a day, and they come home and they try to spend time with their family, and they pay bills, and they got to deal with all the BS, how expensive it is to buy groceries and gas and everything else. So I know that the average person has a lot on their plate. Up until I got back in the truck a little less than a year ago, I was that same person, but I was really, really politically active even then. I have been for the last about 8 years. But even with all the stuff that's going on and all the things that you have to deal with, and the fact that you're still trying to, find some joy in this world, and you don't always want to be thinking about all the bad stuff, that you can't look around, whether it's, how expensive fast food is, or going out to eat at a decent restaurant, or even just go to the grocery store and feed the family from week to week. And when you go fill up your tank, you're forced to think about those things. You're forced to think about how expensive gas is, and how expensive food is, and all that. So you can stick your head in the sand, but you can't, because it's come to your front door. And then if you look at, maybe you don't watch any news like I do, but you watched the presidential debates about a week and a half ago, and you saw what a total fucking, just what a total meltdown Joe Biden had on the national stage. And everybody's talking about that now, about how crazy it is. And then finally now the media is not covering for him. They're basically tearing him apart, and and all that stuff. And I don't understand how more people aren't like, fuck this. This is crazy. I mean, we have to do something about this. We are literally going to, blow up our country. I mean, our country's blown up now, and we don't know what's going to happen, and we're on the brink of World War III and all this. So I guess my point is, I don't understand how the average person, the average normie, can't understand what's going on and say we've got to do something. And I'm hoping that in November it's going to be just a landslide for Trump, because, I mean, what other option is there? Even if you hate the guy, what other option is there? I mean, Biden is just such a fucking dumpster fire, and it's not even just him. It's his administration, the people, I mean, the things that they're doing, all the stuff that's going on. It's like when I watch this stuff, I feel like I'm watching a reality show, and that's a good way to put it. Is our society is just full of all these reality shows, whether whether you're watching The Real Housewives, or like my wife and unfortunately me, I like to watch this show about super yachts, and it's called Below Deck Mediterranean, and it's just totally one big drama fest, and it's just nuts. And all these things are just so over the top that we watch for entertainment now, that I almost feel like maybe the general public, the normies, are just sort of watching what's going on in the country, and it's almost like they feel like, well, this can't really be happening. I mean, this is just one big reality show that at some point the season's going to be over. But that's not reality. I mean, this is reality. This is our lives. This is once the season's over, you're going to be a slave, man, and we're going to be in World War III, or we're having a terrorist attack. Then everybody's going to go, where did the heck come from, man? I mean, I had no idea that was happening. Well, we've got 10, 12, 15 million illegal immigrants in our border. That's just the people that we know we've let in, let alone all the gotaways, which are people we have no idea. That's all the terrorists and everybody else that doesn't even want to be known to the government. Something's going to happen, and everybody's going to go, I can't believe this happened. How did this happen? What prompted all this? And I just think I'm going to sit there and laugh at everybody and go, what do you mean, what's prompted this? I mean, there's been evidence after evidence after evidence after evidence for the last 3.5, 4 years of what's going wrong in this country. And when everybody goes, holy shit, what happened? Why didn't somebody do something? Well, that's what I wonder. I mean, so I guess my point is, I wonder why people are just not incensed like they used to be. I mean, I wasn't around, obviously, during the Revolutionary War, but, a handful of people were so pissed off over a 3% tax on tea from England that they literally said, fuck you guys. I mean, we're going to fight you with everything we have. I mean, and at that time, England was the superpower. I mean, nobody fucked with England. But a bunch of farmers and people that loved this new country, came and kicked ass. So it shows you that you don't need a tremendous force. You just need people that aren't going to put up with it anymore. And I just wonder why that is not the case. Because, I mean, look, up until 8 years ago, I was a normie. I was not politically active. I just thought politics are a big fucking game and everybody's corrupt, which now I know is 100% true. But, there's no winning, so why am I even going to waste my time? And I can see that perspective, but at the same time, even though I'm very, very aware of what's going on because I seek out that information, I'm still just a regular guy. I like to think of myself as a extremely, fantastically important guy, but, that's just my just a regular guy who's looking at this, going, it's just completely nuts. It is a gigantic, poorly written, over-the-top reality show, and because of the way that we've been indoctrinated by our media and whatnot, that we look at the government not as like this is a existential threat to our freedom and to our children's freedom and their lives in general. We look at it like it's a reality show. I mean, and the funny thing I think about it is back in 2015 when Trump announced that he was going to run for president, everybody mocked him and said, Trump's going to be president? I mean, the guy that has been the star of the reality show of The Apprentice and the Celebrity Apprentice, that guy is going to run the country? Are you nuts? Which, okay, I guess I can see that, but then once he got into office, I mean, yes, he has that Celebrity Apprentice and The Apprentice. He has that vibe because that's Donald Trump. He's got a big personality, and that's one of the things I like about him. That's one of the things I think a lot of people like about him is you can't have a very successful reality show on a major network for 15 years without being extremely likable and people liking your shtick, your personality. But then once he got into office, he really, really went from this reality show clown to like a kick-ass patriot. I mean, he did things that no other politician has done for us in 30, 40, 50 years. I mean, he came in and showed that he was truly a great politician and was there for the country. And the Democrats freaked out, and permanent Washington freaked out, and they did everything they could to give this guy the fits, and then they cheated and got him out of office, and then they put their guy in, and our country's completely gone down the shitter in the last 4 years, but yet everybody still thinks they're watching a reality show. And even though when I talk to people, they all agree with me, I just don't see as a whole that anybody's really doing anything about it. And, I know that with January 6th, if you go down and try to do something about it, they're going to put you in jail forever and ruin your whole fucking life. So I can understand people being afraid, but, there's an old quote, and it's, I don't know, I don't have the quote exactly at hand, but I mean, it's literally, like, evil wins when good men do nothing. Okay, that's me paraphrasing the quote, but evil wins when good men do nothing, which means that you, me, and anybody else watching this, when we don't do anything, when we do nothing about things that we see that are wrong, that that are really important, then evil is going to win, and evil's been winning for a long, long time. But I don't know. I guess I just don't understand the mindset of the country, because it is so obvious how just like bizarro everything is. I mean, if this were a reality show, this would be the most outrageous, over the top, crazy reality show ever made. And I can understand watching it because it's like people watch they watch car wrecks because there's this like pull to watching this awful thing that we have as human beings. But I don't know, I just keep wondering at what point we're gonna go, this is not fun anymore, I don't want to watch this show, I want to go back to to watching serious serious things that actually mean something and are important and give me make me feel good about being a human being, versus car wreck, absolute fucking car wreck of a situation that we got in this country. And it's not like we're just watching it and it doesn't affect us. Because when you watch TV, you can watch all these shows and then you go about your life and nothing changes. But, even though nothing's really, really awful has happened yet, it's because we're a country of 350 million people. So essentially, we're like the largest cruise ship that you could ever imagine. And it takes a long time to turn a cruise ship. So when you start turning the cruise ship and it's heading towards the iceberg, you don't know that it's heading towards the iceberg until it's too late, because it takes so much time to do that. So that's essentially what's happening, is our country is turning towards the iceberg and we're about to hit it and we're going to completely sink and most of us are going to die. So don't you think maybe you'd want to go up to the bridge and say, hey, Captain, is there anything I can do to help us avoid the iceberg? I mean, I don't really know what that is, essentially, other than speaking up and trying to, make our voices heard. Whether that is, whether that it's going down and protesting and whatnot, and you have to be willing to be hurt. Like I was listening to Tucker Carlson. He's like, don't hurt other people, but you have to be willing to be hurt, to save this country. And going to jail or being bankrupted or whatever, is maybe something that has to happen, because for the greater good, if you have children and you're worried about their future, you have to do something right now. Because your kids, my 3-year-old doesn't have a prayer if we don't do anything. And I talk about this all the time, and I get 2 or 3, I get a handful of people watching it and nobody really comments, and that's probably the same thing that's going to happen with this. But I don't know. I mean, at some point I wish things would change. I'd love comments. I'd love for you to tell me what you think about this, whether you're watching on Facebook or you're watching it on YouTube. It's social media. Tell me what you think. Tell me what your thoughts are. Give me a different perspective. If you think that there's another perspective on this, or I'm full of shit, or I'm just, I'm crying wolf, tell me. But I don't think that you can. I don't think you will, because I don't know how it's possible. I mean, this is the biggest fucking clown show anybody's ever seen. And I'm just wondering when we're all going to decide we don't want to watch anymore. When are we going to turn the channel to something better? Okay? When are we going to turn the channel to a nice history program and really enlighten ourselves, as opposed to watching this mind-bending filth? And it's not just watching it, we're participating in it, whether you know or not. So I implore you, respond to this video. Tell me what you think. Give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. Tell me to go fuck myself. Tell me you agree with me, whatever. Just, join the debate. I'm tired of talking to myself. All right? Come on there, boys and girls, friends and neighbors. I know you're out there. I know you got something to say. Tell me what you want to say. Good, bad, or indifferent. I can take it. I got a thick skin. But let me know. Let me know your thoughts. If anybody's got any ideas on how to turn this ship around, I would sure like to hear them, man. Because I am definitely worried. I am worried and scared and traumatized by this whole situation. I'd like to know what's going on, but I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you think. But until next time, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, Big Rig Johnny here with you. Big Rig Rants, cruising the highways, byways, and small country roads of the U.S. in his big rig. Talk to you next time.